Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, like I've been doing all season, and did some late last season, and after the big moment, I do reaction to it. The NASCAR Cup Series Long John Silver's 200 last night at Martinsville Speedway. Got over pretty damn late. If y'all watched it live, y'all know. So I wasn't able to stay up for it, so I was able to finish it this morning. Carson Hocevar and Taylor Gray at lap 115. My initial reaction was, it's just racing. As I watched the replay and watched it again, you clearly see at the start, Hocevar going down on Taylor getting on the curb, and then when Taylor went inside and took it 3 wide, Hocevar, you can see him move around. You can see him side swipe into Taylor. Yeah, then we all know he turned. You literally see him turn left. That's clear day. NASCAR parked him for 2 laps. An in-race penalty like that, I don't know if there's going to be anything more coming out of it, because why would you do it in-race like that and then penalize them a second time? NASCAR, I've not ever recall them doing 2 different penalties like that. Now, I do want to look and see what the actual, if I can find the actual definition of the rule for that. Okay, so information that I found here, which is weird because it talks about different infractions here and penalties. It says could be a $10,000 to $15,000 fine or probation for things like criticizing the sport, verbal abuse of a NASCAR official, media member or fan, or intentionally damaging another vehicle without endangering anyone nearby. A 25 to 50 points plus a $50,000 to $100,000 fine or 1 race suspension could be in line for things like physical confrontation with an official, media member, or a fan, confrontation with a NASCAR member that include more than shoving, attempting to manipulate a race, or intentionally wrecking another vehicle, even if the car stays on the track. And it goes on to say the 2 race suspension, loss of 50 to 100 points, 150 to $200,000 fine can be used in simulation or another driver is targeted while in vulnerable position, like when the vehicle is stopped, or prematurely removing another competitor from the championship contention when not racing for position, like Matt Kenseth did with Jody in Martinsville. Indefinite suspension, obviously, for other things. I know they've modified it, but I personally have never seen a 2-lap penalty like that in race. If we go back to last year, I know everybody wants to go back to the big one last year, but let's take a look at what happened here. And then there's 3 other scenarios I want to look at. And we're going to talk about kind of what happened with those and kind of where I feel NASCAR is going to go with this. As prematurely, I don't think NASCAR is going to do anything. I think they did it already. 2-lap in-race penalty. But let's take a look at the Noah Gragson one from last year. That was a Road America last year. Now, if we remember correctly, Noah got a, what did Noah get for that? Oh, let me pull that up. So we got to see what Noah got for that. All right, so Noah got a 30-point penalty when he got into Sage Karam at Road America, intentionally crashed him, and caused a 13-car pileup. 30-point penalty. Okay. Now, we all know Bubba got the 1 race suspension for everything he did. Yeah, this is one of those that's kind of a little different. Let's take a look at what happened last night, if you haven't seen it already. So here's what happened last night.
Race it out here.
See if Zane can launch at the same pace that Corey Haim does down on that bottom.
A little bit of sprinkle's not going to stop us. 86 laps to go. Green flag is out once again.
See, he's on the inside right there, the blue one. He runs Taylor down on the curb. Now they're 3 wide.
3 wide on the exit of turn 2.
Hocevar wrecked himself.
Hocevar with contact. The caution is out once again.
It looked like he was trying to wreck. I think it was Taylor Gray. Either that or his left rear was down. Maybe so. Just couldn't hold on to it. But they were ping-ponging off each other all the way from the time the green flag fell. The scoring monitor showing Zane in front of Kyle Busch.
This is coming up to when we hollered 3 wide.
There goes probably that tire. That was kind of a dive at him too, I think.
But the tire was definitely flat. See Dean Thompson going out pit road to miss him.
This started as soon as the green flag came out, Phil. They started bouncing off one another going into turn 1.
To the left of your screen, you see Taylor Gray in the 17 drive up beside the 42 of Hocevar. They're going to make a little contact. That's Matt DiBenedetto on the outside.
We're being told NASCAR is going to hold the 42 Carson Hocevar for 2 laps for that incident right there.
It looked like he kind of swarfed over at him there, didn't he?
Yeah, you got to give him a bit of.
All right, and you even heard the announcers there. You know, they were like, "Oh, his tire was." Yeah, no, he turned into him. For NASCAR to immediately do the 2-lap penalty like that, I don't feel anything's going to come out later. But I know a lot of people on social media have been comparing it to other incidents. Let's take a look at the one earlier this year at Texas, which I don't feel was any issue, but people seem to do it. And then we'll go ahead and do the Stage Karam one and Noah Gragson as well. So here's that one, Red America last year, where Noah Gragson got the 30-point penalty.
That's exactly what happened. Right here, Noah Gragson, real aggressive, underbraking, but has the spot. The Stage Karam on the outside. They drive into turn 1. Contact right here. Right? Now that's got Noah sideways. See, he starts to turn around, gets really loose. Now he's going to lose this spot to Ty Gibbs. And Noah's frustrated, loses his momentum. I think you saw his hand out the window right there. Upset at Sage. And then they go into this corner and contact again. And now, see this contact, they're banging into each other off the racetrack. And now Noah, I don't know if he had a mechanical issue or just hung a right in frustration, and that started this massive crash behind them.
Well, look what everybody sees, too. You can't see anything with all that dust. Yeah, that yellow rear bumper you just saw come in, that's Reddick. You know? And he can't see where he's going. The rest of these cars are just kind of going into the dust to bring in the smoke. Let's take a look at from this angle right here. You're going to see the 9 go around, the 45 go around. The 45 makes contact. I mentioned the 19. Evasive maneuver, does a wonderful job missing it. Gragson comes in. A huge hit for Myatt Snyder into the 10. And now we see Reddick sitting here and right. Oh, there. I believe that is. Yes, that's the 68 of Brandon Brown. Nowhere to go.
All right, so... yeah, they're similar, but again, they're similar. They're not exactly 100% the same. I know a lot of people talked about the Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace one, so now let's take a look at that.
Side by side. Larson's going to go to the bottom here into turn 3. Harvick backs out. The 5 sliding up the racetrack. Bubba just feels like that the 5 didn't give him much room as he would have liked to come off of that corner. They're chasing him up the track here. Yeah, Larson's got him in a bad spot right there and gets him in the wall. Then they go down the front straightaway, and it just looks like to me Bubba hangs a left to retaliate. And I got a problem with that. You're going as fast as they're going, and you hang a guy in the right rear quarter panel. That is exceptionally dangerous. That's racing right there. Larson's fault for sure, but Sanders not acceptable. Takes out Christopher Bell. That's exceptionally dangerous move. The shot the 5 takes to the driver's door on the front straightaway is vicious. I mean, it's a hit. Yeah, I just can't. That's not right. I mean, Kyle Larson clearly messed up. They got Bubba in the wall. That's on Larson, but a retaliation in the right rear quarter panel on a 1.5 mile racetrack, that is exceptionally dangerous.
All right, as you can clearly see, a half-mile Martinsville where you're doing 50, 60 mile an hour, to Vegas where you're doing a $180 and hooked him. 2 completely different accidents. Even the road course with Noah Gragson, it's different. And here's why it's different. Where you're out on the track, the speed you're going, the number of people that got involved. So in this case, the only person that got wrecked was Carson Hocevar. He wrecked himself. Literally wrecked himself. He needs to rewatch some of these videos on how to actually wreck somebody if that was his intent. If his intent was to, which we don't judge intent because you can't judge intent. If his intent was to wreck Taylor Gray, Carson, you need to watch some videos on that. You messed up. You get a 2-lap in-race penalty. Now, I know some people have brought up Carson's the dirty driver. Look what happened at Texas. Okay, let's look what happened at Texas.
Carson Hocevar will be our winner.
Carson Hocevar.
Carson Hocevar, after all of that, they took the white flag. Caution comes out.
Wow. That move on the restart, jumping inside of Stuart Friesen.
It is unofficial. We're waiting for word from NASCAR.
Wow, what a race for Carson Hocevar. We've seen him be in position to win. Today it looked like he was in position to run about 3rd or 4th. And it looks like, as soon as we hear from NASCAR, that Carson Hocevar will be celebrating his first win. Now, the other drivers are congratulating Carson Hocevar like he's the winner, and I assume he will be.
What a moment for Carson Hocevar, if it's official. Looking at the scoring pylon here, it shows Hocevar 1 lap led.
Yeah. A big one, though.
Yeah, the right one.
Most important one, for sure.
It's official. Carson Hocevar wins for the first time in...
All right. To me, that was a racing accident. And you even notice the announcers, and because if you looked at it, if you watched it, Zane Smith, Nick Sanchez, they touched. Sanchez got dead sideways. Because he was sideways, he got sideways, tried to save it. And Carson Hocevar had 2 options. Drive the truck. Or, I don't want to touch this driver. I'm going to hang a left so I don't wreck, and I'm going to spin my truck around and take other people out. That was not Carson Hocevar's fault at all. Has he gotten into some rough issues? Yes, but what young driver hasn't? I don't think Carson Hocevar is a dirty driver. I don't think that what came of Friday night is going to end up in any type of... He's not getting suspended for a race. He may get a fine, but he also got 2-lap penalty in race. NASCAR normally doesn't do that. So we'll see on Tuesday or Wednesday when the penalty report comes out, but I feel it's done. I think all those situations are different. And the fact that everyone is trying to make everything the same, and it's not. What Bubba Wallace did to Kyle Larson is completely different than what Noah Gragson did to Sage Karam, which is completely different than Taylor Gray and Carson Hocevar. They're all different. They're all unique. They all stand on their own. I know some other people are referring back to other issues that Carson has had. You know what? There's a guy in the Cup Series that won 2 races last year that was in the Final Four that we all hail because of the Hail Melon. He was an aggressive driver coming up too. Did we all forget about that? He had a little issue with Denny Hamlin last year. Did we all forget about that because of the Hail Melon? Carson Hocevar, in my opinion, is a young Ross Chastain. Now, that's the fun thing about NASCAR. 90% opinion, 10% fact. Everyone can have their own opinion, but these are my opinions. That's why I do these shows. That's why I have this channel. So, Carson Hocevar, in my opinion, he got his penalty in race till it done. Is he a dirty driver? No. Is he aggressive? Yes. Will he learn from that? Yes. Done skis. Let's get on to the Xfinity race tonight and then the Cup race tomorrow. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.